I lived in Curitiba, Brazil for 2 months in 2017. This involved 2 stays of 1 month each, separated by 1 month in between. After the first month in Curitiba, I continued traveling through 3 more cities in Brazil, including a deep dive into the Amazon rainforest, followed by a quick trip into Uruguay, then Argentina, and ultimately back to Curitiba. What initially attracted me to Curitiba was the resounding propaganda and positive opinions about the city from many Brazilians along the way. Many Brazilians considered Curitiba the cleanest, safest, and most developed metropolitan city with the highest standard of living in Brazil. My original plan was to settle into Sao Paulo for a few months instead of Curitiba. But after a quick tour of Sao Paulo, I found it to be an overwhelmingly dense and turbulent concrete jungle. So instead of choosing Sao Paulo, I began my first month of living in Curitiba, Brazil. I write this follow-up review after procrastinating for more than 4 years, but as the saying goes, it's better late than never. The first part of this review involves my immediate on-the-spot opinions after the first month, while the second part will be a compilation of photos and my overall thoughts, keeping in mind that it's been over 4 years in between. Alright, what up? It's Leo here in Curitiba on my last day, and I am running short on time, so let's make this a quick video. I have been here now for about 1 month. 1 month in total, a little bit more than a month. And as I speak to you, I will show you the city. So this is where I am currently staying. It's a little bit noisy because there's literally a busy road right behind me. But this is the city of Curitiba, more or less. Okay. It's not the most beautiful city, but it's considered the safest or one of the safest major cities in Brazil. And over there is the Câmara Municipal, which is some government-oriented building. And once again, the reason I chose this city to stay in was because many Brazilians recommended it because it's considered the cleanest major city in Brazil, as well as the safest major city in Brazil. Now, so my adventures here in Curitiba, let's just be brief. For me, it has been a relatively quiet city. Okay, the downtown core is more towards that way. And there's a cool touristy bus you can take here. Basically, you pay by the ticket. It's like $3 for a ticket that you get on the bus. Every time you get on the bus, you have to pay $3 every time, or you can buy a collection of tickets from there. I'm staying next to this place called Shopping Estação, which is basically shopping station. It has everything that I need. There's buffets everywhere in this city, which I love. And the buffets are open from 11 until pretty much 2 p.m. There's a lot of these buffet libre, which means you can eat as much as you want and you just pay 12 reais, or you can pay by the pound, which is awesome. For breakfast, I always wake up around noon and then I basically go for buffet libre. So we can get a little bit more light here. There we go. There's a little bit of a party district further north of me. It's a good city for if you want to go out. I don't think it has the most amazing nightclubs, but it has bars, plenty of bar clubs as well. So definitely go check those out. Definitely has a student feel to it. There's, I think, 2 or 3 universities in this place with lots of other college type of things. So Curitiba is definitely a place I would stay for more than a month. There's potential for me to come back here in the future and to stay a little bit longer because it is a clean city. Okay, I respect that about this city. It's much cleaner than other parts of Brazil. Definitely cleaner than Recife, less homeless people, and more clean than Rio de Janeiro. And I think it's considered more safe than Sao Paulo. I've heard already 2 or 3 horror stories about people getting robbed in Sao Paulo, including a friend of mine who I'm going to meet in the Amazon. I also went to the city of Floripa or Florianopolis, which is one of these really popular touristy destinations for people to go. It's a big island that has a bridge that connects to it. And then the entire island is like a beach / city. Okay, it's about 4-hour bus about 6-hour bus from Curitiba to get to the bus station in Floripa. I spent about 3 days there. Definitely a cool experience. And then we have the Falls do Iguaçu, which has this really cool waterfall called the Cataratas. Definitely cooler than the Niagara Falls in Canada, and it's definitely more beautiful, definitely more tropical as well. It's just way cooler than Niagara Falls. I mean, it's probably the most beautiful waterfall that I have seen in the world thus far. It's about a 10-hour bus or an hour and a half on the plane. And then we also took a bus from Falls do Iguaçu further into Paraguay, which was another 6-hour bus. And we got to Paraguay Asunción. The city is very dirty
It's not really the most glamorous city to be in. There was pretty much garbage everywhere, but the rural areas were very nice, very green. I mean, this is what you expect of Latin America: lots of nature, lots of greenery. And then we had to take another bus 6 hours back from Asuncion, which is the heart of Latin America. We took it back to Foz do Iguaçu, and unfortunately I bought the wrong plane ticket out of Foz do Iguaçu back to Curitiba, so I had to take another bus, it was literally like a 13-hour bus from Foz do Iguaçu back to Curitiba, which is ridiculous. I mean, 13 hours on a bus is a lot, and especially it sucks because I didn't have internet, so I couldn't even download ebooks to read. And there was one audiobook I was listening to, but I mean, even then, 13 hours of that can get overwhelming. So now we're back in Curitiba. Unfortunately, I didn't do any MMA here. I mean, that was my goal, to come here and do MMA, but I was engaged in other activities and work. So I was doing a lot of online work here, trying to find a new project, etc., etc. So Curitiba, I recommend it. Like I said, I would come back here to stay a little bit longer in the future if I don't find any other cool cities. I also like Asia as well, so it's between those two. Curitiba, a great place to stay. And off to Manaus. So Manaus, Amazon, we are going there, and yes, so Curitiba, recommended city, and I will see you in the next video, which will be in the Amazon rainforest with a buddy of mine. Salute.
Immediately after this video, I took an Uber to the Curitiba airport and flew to the city of Manaus in the Amazon rainforest. Here I would spend 3 nights in the city of Manaus, along with 3 nights on a deep Amazonian jungle adventure with a great buddy of mine. You don't realize how much you are addicted to technology until you are disconnected from the internet completely by hundreds of kilometers of pure jungle. Yet, upon returning to technology, you are instantly bombarded with dozens, if not hundreds of notifications on your phone. Following the Amazon adventure, I decided to stay another 4 nights in Manaus during the famed Brazilian Carnaval. Afterwards, I flew to Porto Alegre in the very south of Brazil for another 5 nights during the Porto Alegre Carnaval. Then it was time to venture into Montevideo, Uruguay for a fun bike tour around the city for a few days. Then from Montevideo, Uruguay, I headed to Buenos Aires, Argentina for another 5 nights of adventure. But after these last several weeks of traveling, I had enough and decided it was time to start focusing on work again. That's one issue with constantly traveling. You are more focused on the logistics of traveling instead of being able to deep dive into work mode. So I flew directly from Buenos Aires, Argentina to the capital of Brazil, Brasilia, for a quick 4-day layover. And ultimately, I returned to Curitiba for 1 more month of general living and exploring more of the city. My second month in Curitiba simply involved exploring as much of the city as possible. Also, this second time around, I trained 4 times per week in a Thai boxing gym. During the second Curitiba living adventure, I visited some of the parks, including the Botanical Garden. You can also visit the Panoramic Tower for a fantastic view of the entire city. If you are a creative type, you can visit the Oscar Niemeyer Museum for some contemporary and classical art pieces. And if you have some Ukrainian roots, you can visit the Ukrainian Memorial, which is an actual Ukrainian Orthodox Christian church within Brazil. To explore the nightlife further, I went out a few nights to clubs and bars with a couple Brazilian friends I met online. In conclusion, while Curitiba is the safest metropolitan city in Brazil, at a certain midnight hour, in certain downtown locations, you still need to be mindful of your safety. But thankfully, when daybreak arrives, you will see an army of city cleaners venture out to sweep up the previous night's litter, keeping the city clean as per its reputation. So, I hope you enjoyed this brief review of Curitiba, Brazil. Once again, if you like this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. That way, I'll know to produce more content like this in the future. Thanks again, Leonidas, Saúde.